The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of any major corporation whatsoever.
Welcome to the Pope on Film. I am Bunny Williams, and with me is
Reverend Steve, the Reverend Steve, as I am known on Twitter by way more people than I ever expected. I am the founder of the Church of Ed Wood. It's a religion I created a long time ago. I was in college. It was a different time. I am a bipolar, PTSD suffering father of 5 children. I am a children's entertainer, storyteller, and currently looking for employment.
yes.
First off, I just want to say I thought of this on the way over here to record the podcast. I created my own religion, the Church of Edward, Woodism. It's a very liberal sort of religion. It's about being who you want to be and not letting reality get in the way of your dreams, which is something that I basically have to 100% live by right now.
Yeah.
It's difficult to put thought into deed. But because I created my own religion, I can kind of set the rules. So I just want to come out and say that one major tenet of the Church of Edward is that it is against my religion to be fired.
Yes.
So guess what? Religious discrimination.
Uh-huh.
I will expect Fox News to be on my side.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely go with that. I would definitely push that.
Thank you. I just thought of that like about 5 minutes ago. I was really proud of it. So let's just get it out in the open. Let's just before we get to written parts and bits, I have a really funny thing about Natalie Wood.
Okay.
That I wrote like on Saturday and Sunday in the good times, in the before times, in the long ago.
Yes.
Let's just get it out in the open. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. The reason why a large amount of people may or may not want to listen to this episode. Why people might be interested in listening. The reason why so many people have come to this episode of the Pope on Film podcast. Let's just get out into the open right now. Let's just talk about it. Yes, I did go to the doctor this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Is everything okay?
No, I'm fine. I was just getting a checkup. Also, I may have been.
Okay, no. The answer to that question is not no. I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's either just I'm fine.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's doable. But no, my wife and I are in a mad dash to get as many medical checkups as we can now before the end of this, when things will be more difficult.
Yes. Good plan.
Yeah. So I had an eye doctor's appointment. I had a doctor's appointment. I got to go back in for labs tomorrow. And My wife might be going to the dentist. We're very busy right now, which is good because I don't want to dwell. So I went to the doctor to get a checkup, and oh man, talk about doctor's offices in Oklahoma. Dr. Butcher, which is a real, as Bella pointed out, a really ominous name for a doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Butcher. So his doctor's office, his little room in the hospital, is covered wall to wall in anti-democratic merchandise.
Ah, nice.
There's the Hillary is a nutcracker.
Okay.
There's a Reagan and Bush dolls and bobbleheads, and there's one whole wall that is literally covered in pro right wing editorial cartoons.
Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. But the doctor is really nice. And despite the vaguely offensive and possibly racist editorial cartoons that are covering in one entire wall of his doctor's office, it's the doctor I could get, and he's a nice guy. And we started talking. I got 2 shots, one for tetanus and one for the flu. So my arms don't work right now.
Yeah.
They're just throbbing. They're in pain all day. So I had an interesting conversation with the doctor because I asked him, and the doctor said, "Do you have any more questions?" And I said, "Yes, I have one, but it has nothing to do with my visit. It's just that you're a doctor." and he said, "Okay, well, shoot." And I said, "When I was a kid, everyone got chicken pox.
Yeah.
I still have." Yeah, I still have scars from chicken pox on me.
I was going to say the same thing. I have one on my leg where, seriously, it's like halfway down my thigh, but it's where my diaper rubbed on one of the sores.
I have one.
How cute is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a tiny divot on my forehead right about where my unibrow will be. I might grow it out because, I don't have to be that visually appealing right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing to do. Grow out the unibrow.
It's either grow out the unibrow or massively cut my hair. So I'm kind of weighing options. So I asked the guy, I said, everybody got chickenpox. Every kid got chickenpox. That was just what happens. And I was just thinking on the way over here, none of my kids have ever gotten chickenpox. So what happened? Do kids get chickenpox anymore? Do you see chickenpox? And he told me that, well, in 1995, Steve Esteban, in 1995, apparently they came up with a chickenpox vaccine. And so kids don't get chickenpox anymore. But apparently a side effect of the vaccine is that now kids get shingles.
Ah.
And apparently shingles are like the older bully cousin of chickenpox. They're worse. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently they're really bad. And yeah. There's massive waves of shingles now. Kids are getting shingles.
Huh.
I'm not even 100% sure what shingles are. But apparently if you got chickenpox, then that sort of cleared you from getting shingles. But now that kids are free of chickenpox, a bunch of people are getting shingles.
Huh.
It's amazing. I was blown away by that. And I'm like, thank you for answering this question. So I was wondering about my kids. Are they going to get chickenpox? And they said, no, we gave them shots for that. They're good. And then we started getting into a conversation about parents who don't vaccinate their children. There's a measles outbreak in Norman, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so there's 3 places. If you went to this hospital, if you've been to this hospital during this time, you may have gotten measles. If you went to this place at this period in time, you may have gotten the measles. And also, if you went to the Norman Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
Yeah, you may have gotten measles if you've been to this Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
There's something about that I find absolutely hilarious. Like it's not bad enough that you had to go to a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
But now you've got Yeah, but now you've gone to a Chuck E. Cheese and you might have like a disease. Eleanor's saying hello to you, Bunny.
Hi, Eleanor.
Oh, she is smiling. You're a celebrity to her. Added a couple more Bob's Dirty Shorts to her YouTube playlist.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
So now Eleanor knows that when you were growing up, that was when you could hit a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're like famous. She gets all excited. Bunny, 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 Daddy, it's Bunny. She gets so excited. So Bunny, how are you? How are you, Bunny?
I am okay. I am
In pain.
going. Yeah, I was getting there. Thank you for stepping on my
Oh,
punchline.
sorry. I'm just trying to help.
Yeah. I'm in a good chunk of pain. I took the okay. So I'm having tons of doctor appointments these days, trying to
Okay.
figure out why exactly I'm so fucked up. You
Okay.
know, I mean, you are my social life. That's it. You know,
Yeah.
because I just don't want to be around people. I don't want to be outside. You know, I don't want a lot of things. You know.
I understand you so much because this Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, I have just not wanted to leave the house. It's been difficult for me to to go outside and face people and
Yeah.
face life, and just everybody sucks and I suck, and I just don't want to leave the house. And I one of the first things I wanted to talk about in the podcast is just how are you doing, because like I feel that, Bunny. I
Yeah.
feel that so much.
So I have a ton of doctor's appointments all the time now. So a regular doctor I'm seeing monthly, you know, what are they called now?
General practitioner.
They used to be called family doctors. Then they were right. Then no, they're not. Are they general practitioners? No, they're primary care
Primary care
physicians.
physicians.
Right. Right. They used to first they were family doctors, then they were general practitioners.
Yeah.
Now they're primary care. Right. So I have that. I have a psychiatrist, I have a counselor. I have another woman who's making me breathe. I'm not sure what she's called. She
Um,
makes me breathe.
a kook,
Yeah, that's what I
a
was thinking.
swami. Is it a swami? Might be a swami.
Might be a swami. Um, and now I'm going to see somebody to see if something about getting a job, which would be awesome. But I don't know what you're going to do. But one of the goals to try to get me out is to take the dog to the dog park.
Yeah.
You know, so I finally did that. And it had snowed, and he was all excited. He was going to the dog park, and he did not allow me to take the leash off of his head when he started running while I'm holding the leash,
Jesus.
standing on snow. So I went right down, and like all the way down, flat on my face, like a tree fucking falling. And I don't know what I did. I think now I have like bruised or pulled a muscle near one of my ribs.
Jesus.
I thought maybe I cracked a rib or something like that, but I didn't think it hurt enough for that.
Yeah.
It hurts a fuckload. But
Yeah.
it's getting better already, so I don't
What a
think it's anything serious.
what a great phrase.
What?
Fuckload.
Fuck what?
Fuckload. I'm just
Oh, a fuckload.
what an amazing word.
Yes.
It's like shit ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all know what these mean, but
Yeah.
there is no standard unit
That's why
of measurement.
that's why foreigners hate English.
Yeah.
I heard some comedian recently. It was on Conan, and I think he was from Norway, maybe Sweden. I'm not sure, Scandinavia somewhere.
Yeah.
But his entire comedy routine was about the numerous ways that Americans use the word ass.
Really?
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, blew me away. Yeah.
Look it up because
Yeah,
it's great.
just probably look Conan ass.
Conan.
And you'll be able to pull it up. Don't Google it.
I think I'm a little afraid of actually doing that.
It's amazing. I'll send it to you.
I'll be seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger's butt.
Yeah. Or Sylvester Stallone. I was just thinking about that. I've seen his butt a lot.
And I've already seen him once this year. That's enough.
Yeah. That and it was weird to see him.
And I didn't want to see him there either.
Yeah. Now, before we get to the bulk of the show, just to be clear, this is going to be a different type of show. It's episode 161. You're showing me. Oh, that's very nice. It's very sharp. I had written about 2 pages of the podcast, 2.5 pages, until my livelihood was taken away from me.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a different sort of show. Originally, I was going to just wanted to make it like a special edition and just talk about that. But dang it, what I wrote was funny.
Yes. I understand.
So I want to get through this, and the stuff that I wrote was really good, and I just want to get through that, and then we can talk about other things. So before we get to the bulk of the show, there was a small bit of news that caught my ire.
Stop.
My eye and my ire. I had to clarify that to have those 2 words next to each other is difficult. I and ire, IRE. So people are eating Tide Pods, right?
Yeah.
People are eating Tide Pods. Because just a shit ton, honey, because a shit ton of people will go out of their way to do stupid crap as long as people watch it on the internet.
Yes.
Basically, the internet has turned millennials into the cast of Jackass.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. But that's not the story. The real story concerns New York State. So the governor of New York State has decided to stop the Tide Pod menace.
Okay.
Unfortunately for us here at the Pope on Film podcast, New York State's plans do not include making a black and white remake of Reefer Madness, but with Tide Pods. Wonderful. That's a great idea. Meg, bring me some pods. And he's just eating the pods, and the girl, quit that crazy laughing. Yeah, I'm just saying it would work.
Yes, but, okay.
Tide Pod Man.
Yes, but when we get to the scene of how you can flash back from Tide Pods, and it's just people on Halloween masks.
Yeah.
Sonny Bono cameo. Right there.
Sonny Bono.
Yeah. We'll dig him up, push 100,000 volts through him.
Yep.
I mean, he's only got to jerk around a little. That would count as acting. Again, Stallone. You know?
Yeah.
And he could be the flashback.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this is New York State's plan to stop the Great Tide Pod Menace of 2018. Verbal copyright 2018. The Pope on Film podcast. All rights reserved. So legislators in New York State have drafted a bill that would force companies to stop manufacturing visually pleasing laundry detergent pods.
Okay.
Specifically, they said that their law would force people to create laundry detergent, and I quote, in a uniform color that is unappealing. Brown, for example. You racist SOBs.
Yes, I will give you that, but I have more there. Go ahead.
Dare you, New York State? Oh, yeah, we'll make the Tide Pods brown because nothing attractive can be brown. Gee, thanks, Dad.
Yes. Yes.
If this was 1781, I would duel New York. I would challenge New York State to a duel. We do it in Weehawken because everything is legal in New Jersey.
Okay, but this also means that New York State. I am sure maybe there was some kind of an emergency panel or something like that. New York State looked at this Tide Pod situation and determined that Tide Pods were too sexy.
Yeah, yeah. So then, let's stay on Tide Pods.
That's
because
why people are eating them.
Yeah. So Tide Pods they have these commercials that are lit in very soft colors and has, the same tender, loving, breathy woman who talks about depression in pill ads.
Yes.
Tide Pods now introduce child safety packs to protect your children from Tide Pods. Because we care about safety. Excuse me. No one is freaking out because 2-year-olds are getting Tide Pods. It's 17-year-olds with YouTube accounts.
Yeah.
So you don't need child safety packages, you need teen safety packages. Like a teen tries to open up the Tide Pod container, but then the Tide Pod container says, "Okay, first, let me see your credit score." Like, oh man.
So do you ever catch like Amber or what's the other jewel? Emerald. Sneaking around the kitchen at all?
Looking for Tide Pods?
Yeah, in the middle of the night trying to score.
All the time.
Yeah.
But let's be honest about Tide. SC Johnson, maybe. I'm not sure. Let's just forget the name of the company. Let's just talk about the people who make Tide Pods. You gotta know that they're loving this.
Yes.
Right? You gotta know that there are men in a boardroom that are super excited that literally everyone is talking about Tide Pods.
Exactly, and doing stupid things, and it's not their fault. You can't really pin this on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am currently drinking my first Tecate Light of the evening. Podcast of the Pope on Film, Tecate Light. It's just like original Tecate, but it doesn't burn your mouth. Tecate Light, now in non-battery acid flavor. Okay. Now, end of one bit, beginning of second bit. That should make it easy for you if you want to cut this.
Okay.
Now, Bunny, a famous cold case has been opened up. And it is all over the news right now. A lot of people are talking about it. I'm talking about the death of Natalie Wood.
Really?
Yeah. They've opened up the case, and now they're saying that Robert Wagner is a person of interest.
Oh, really? Robert, yeah, really.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I am so shocked.
I want to see Christopher Walken on trial. Not on trial. I just want to see him in the witness box.
I just want to see him dance again, like in that one video.
Yes.
Like one creepy music video where he starts flying at the end.
Yeah.
I just want to see him with a cowbell. I wonder if he isn't self-centered enough that he would autograph a cowbell for me.
I think he would.
He would too.
Yeah.
Well, that right there, opening up the case of the death of Natalie Wood, that's 100% true. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that's true. Well, it turns out there was another person on that boat. Yeah, on that boat.
Okay.
Was pushed. There's another person on that boat who is talking right now because it was me.
Oh yeah?
I was on the boat. So let me once and for all tell you and everyone what happened on that boat, because I was there. So let me tell you exactly how it happened. The year was 1981.
Mm-hmm.
I was 4 years old. And like most 4-year-olds in the early 1980s, I spent most of my time doing cocaine and
Hogs.
on Robert Wagner's yacht.
Ah.
Like most 4-year-olds in the 80s.
Yeah.
People forget how popular it was for young kids to wake up early, watch cartoons, eat cereal, and then head on over to Robert Wagner's yacht to do drugs all day. It was really popular back then. That garbage pail kids.
At the time, it was hotter than Tide Pods.
Yeah, it was huge. So it's the end of November, and I'm on his yacht with him, Natalie Wood, and Christopher Walken. Have you ever really seen Christopher Walken's face up close?
Yeah.
His entire face is a puzzle piece. It's odd. He's like a mix and match human. There are these Marvel toys, and it's one of those toys that is only created so that you can buy a number of other toys. I always hate that.
Yeah.
I won't get these for Maxwell because you can't just buy one. You have to buy a number of them. So you buy like an Incredible Hulk and his arm comes off, his legs come off, his torso comes off, his head comes off. So it's not that you buy one action figure. It's that you buy like 4 or 5 others. So you can put Iron Man's head on Hulk's body, put Thor's arms on it, put like Ultron's legs on there. Basically, that's Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Marvel action figure. So the 4 of us are doing coke.
Yeah.
Right. Again, I was 4 years old but to be fair, I was a very advanced 4-year-old.
Well, and I fucked that up. I scratch that.
Sure.
Drew Barrymore was babysitting. There we go.
There you go. Yeah. So Robert Wagner just stands up like a bolt and his eyes bunny. They're like super bugged out. And, I've been partying with Robert Wagner so much at that time that I know that when he stands up all zombied out with the crazy eyes, like Steve Zissou screaming for Esteban, that's when you know Robert Wagner's had too much.
Yeah.
So I go, hey, Rob Dog, that was his nickname. I said, hey, Rob Dog, you all right? And he just stares out into the distance and he says, hey, Steve, will you give me a can of Pringles if I push my wife off this boat? And I go, okay, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
First off, no, I'm not giving you a can of Pringles. Secondly, you will go to jail if you push your wife off of this boat. And Robert Wagner is all, no, you don't get it. Police can't solve crimes if water is involved.
That's true.
And I went, look, Rob Dog, that's the stupidest thing anyone has ever said. And he goes, no, really, watch this. And he pushes Natalie Wood off of the yacht. And almost instantly, the police show up. They look around and they say, well, I've done it. I've solved the case. Natalie Wood drowned. Well, we're out of here. And I said, yeah, but, someone pushed her. And the cop said, well, we just can't solve this. Look at all the water. And then the police left. And Rob Dog just got off scot-free. But here's the worst part. I haven't even told you the worst part about this story.
What's the worst part?
After the police left, Robert Wagner came up to me with his hand out. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm not going to shake your hand. You just pushed Natalie Wood off of this boat. And he goes, no. Where's my can of Pringles?
Oh.
And I'm like, Robert, we went over this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving you a can of Pringles. And then he's all like, no, you promised. And I said, no, I haven't. I never promised you a can of Pringles.
He assumed.
And that is why I don't speak to Christopher Walken anymore.
I don't blame you.
You ever noticed that me and actor Robert Wagner are never seen in pictures anymore? That's why. That's why right there. Boom. That is why. Because he still thinks I owe him a can of Pringles.
That's selfish. Fuck.
Now, finally, the truth can come out.
Yes.
But basically, what I said about police can't solve a crime if there's water, that's essentially what happened.
Yeah.
Like, well, Natalie Wood was on this boat. Suddenly she's in the water. She has a fear of water, and she's always feared drowning, and now she's drowned to death. Let's see. There are 3 people on this boat. Unsolvable.
Yeah.
Unsolvable.
Is
Well,
Robert Wagner still alive?
Yes, he is.
He
And
is.
He is none too pleased. In all honesty, the only thing I remember him from at this point in time is Austin Powers.
Oh, yeah?
He was really good as number 2.
Yes, he was, but yeah, I still remember him from Heart to Heart. And Christ knows where he came from before that, but he was definitely someone.
Oh, I forgot about Heart to Heart. Yeah, that was Robert Wagner. Yeah.
Well, it's hard not to think about them together. Like, if Robert Wagner gets brought up, then I'm going to start thinking about Stephanie Powers.
Yeah.
Who was William Holden. Do you remember how he died?
Asphyxiation?
No, this is kind of awesome and fucked up. Because Stephanie Powers and William Holden were together. That's why these thoughts run together.
He didn't Hogan's Heroes it, did he?
What would that be?
Oh, you know, the guy who starred in Hogan's Heroes. He ended up dead in a hotel, naked, hanging.
Real close. It could have happened. It's not nearly that cool, though.
Okay.
But no, he enjoyed drinking a lot. Like, a lot. Like, so much you could die this way.
like my brother-in-law sized.
Yeah. Possibly, I don't know him.
Randall, not Dwayne. I just want to clarify. Dwayne is okay. Randall has a problem. Anyway, let's continue.
Yes. So he got really drunk on the Lion Preserve or wherever it is they fucking lived. It was something like that. It was in Africa.
Okay.
So he got really drunk and he fell and he hit his head on a lacquer coffee table.
Like you do.
Okay. Knocked a 1-inch hole in his skull. And instead of like calling a doctor or anything like that because he was drunk, he was trying to like fix it himself. And wound up stuffing 2 whole boxes of tissues into his head.
Oh, God.
To stop the bleeding.
That's so weird because I was just talking to Emerald about the one time I got a staph infection.
Yeah.
I got a staph infection when I was in California, and I didn't know what a staph infection was, but I had this like tiny little bump on my inner thigh, and it itched a little bit, and then the next day it was the size of a golf ball.
Really?
Yeah, so we went to the doctor and they saw us, and immediately they saw it. They said, "This is a staph infection. We need to get rid of this immediately." So what they did was they basically dug a deep, deep hole into my leg, and they shoved gauze in the hole.
Yeah,
to suck up the
juice.
The juice. The Steve juice, the Fleeb juice, and I said, "Oh, so you're just gonna like cut me up? You're gonna melon ball me, basically." So they said, "Don't worry, we'll give you some pain meds." So so they said, okay, but we need to do this fast. This is an immediate thing. This is a serious danger to you and to your life. We need to do this immediately. And so the doctor left, and then eventually a nurse comes in and gives me like 2 big pain pills.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Maybe I should have questioned this, but also these are medical professionals and I shouldn't have had to. But they give me 2 big pain pills. And then about 6 minutes later, the doctor comes in and starts digging a hole into my leg.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he's like halfway done, and I'm just squeezing my wife's hand so hard, like I feel like I'm going to pop her, and I'm just in pain and screaming. And he's halfway done when he goes, "Wait, you can feel this?" And I go, "Yeah, it hurts. I'm like in tears here. But didn't we give you pain pills?" And I said, "Yeah, 5 minutes ago."
Oh.
And they go, "Oh, we should have waited for those to kick in."
Duh.
So they had to keep going. And so it was the weirdest, grossest thing ever. And I felt the entire thing.
Oh.
Them digging this big, giant hole into my leg and then shoving it with gauze.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, a couple of days later, they wring me out. They pull the gauze out.
Yeah.
And they're doing it, and it hurts like crazy. It hurts like heck because the wound is kind of like healed around the gauze
Mm-hmm.
with all the flea juice in it. And it hurts like crazy to just be pulling this part of me now out of me. And they're halfway done with pulling it until the doctor said, "Wait, this hurts you?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Didn't you take a pain pill before you came here?" And I said, "Nobody told me to take a pain pill before I came here. I was supposed to do that?" So long story short, I never saw that doctor again.
Yeah. Good plan there.
Yeah, so I still have the scar on my leg from the hole where people were making orange juice out of me. Mr. Steve juice. Really weird.
Yeah.
So, Bunny,
Yes.
this next section of the podcast is the part that I was writing. I was in the middle of writing it when unfortunate events occurred.
Mm-hmm.
So what I had planned was, here are some really quick news smatterings, because people know the big stories in the news: Stormy Daniels, Donald Trump, MTV's Dan Cortez, and all of those elephants.
Okay.
But people may miss the smaller stories in the news, stories that, if I was still gainfully employed, would definitely have been much, much funnier.
Yes.
First off,
But understandable.
yeah. First off, let's talk about douchebags.
Okay.
And no one is more of a douchebag right now than YouTube car wreck Logan Paul.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh my God, I'm so happy that you don't know this, because this is going to be a fun ride. So he's a YouTube personality. He does YouTube videos. So he recently took a vacation to Japan. He puts out a video like every day,
Okay.
as most of these YouTubers do.
Did he do the suicide garden?
Yes, that was him.
Okay.
That was him. The suicide forest. He goes to Mount Fuji. He visits the suicide forest. He sees a dead body just hanging there, and he decides, like, "Oh, that's a dead body hanging there. For real, that's a dead body. That's a dead body. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Oh man, maybe we shouldn't be here. Get a close up.
Yeah.
Get a close up of the corpse. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay, now pan to me. Oh, I'm shocked." It's like that part right before the Americans are killed in Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so happy with what we did. I mean, oh my goodness, I can't believe these savages did this. So he's widely shamed. He says he's sorry. YouTube is like, YouTube puts him in a YouTube money-making penalty box.
Yeah.
And then he gets out and he gets back to doing these videos. To be fair, it must be so difficult to be a YouTube celebrity, and I'm going to try and be one soon. So Lord knows this is going to be an uphill battle.
Yes.
But this is what people want me to do, so I'm gonna give it a Woodian try, an Ed Wood type try. But these people do videos every day, so I imagine eventually you're out of ideas and you're just kind of going with whatever madness overtakes you. You know, I'm not trying to give an excuse to Logan Paul because the guy's a douchebag. So anyway, he's like,
okay,
hey,
he may be a douchebag because many of the people who do shows like this are certainly douchebags. But I didn't think he was such a douchebag over this. I mean, what the fuck do you do with you go to the suicide gardens? You know?
Yeah, but there's more to the story.
Okay.
So he gets out of the YouTube penalty box and he's like, America hates me. The world hates me. How can I win back the hearts of America? I know. I'll post a video on YouTube where I'm just tasing dead rats.
Ah!
That noise you made was beautiful.
Oh man.
I want that to be my my text notification. Like every time I get a text, it's just you reacting to Logan Paul tasing dead rats. So I'm just at the store, and then suddenly, ha! Oh, I got a text. So it's official, Bunny.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand young people.
No.
YouTubers tasing dead rats, Gucci Gang, Tide Pod, Snapchat. Nope, it's official. I'm an old man.
Isn't it weird how that happens?
I don't know how it happened. It just happened overnight. I don't understand.
And like our references, you know? Like we make some reference. It's funny to us, but they don't know. Like I was talking to my counselor, okay? And I had mentioned the podcast. And I was describing, I was like, well, you know, so basically I'm kind of like the Ed McMahon. Because that's always been the case. That's the dynamic that's set up early.
Sorry.
Huh?
I said sorry.
No, that's just how it is. But then I stopped and I was like, you don't know who that is, do you?
I was having a conversation.
She goes, no. I was like, oh my God. Okay.
I was having a conversation with Ed McMahon recently with Natasha. It's just that I really like the state of late night television. I was so bored with anything that wasn't David Letterman back in the dark times of the giant chin.
Yeah.
That was hosting the frickin' Tonight Show. I'm so happy to have lived to have seen him leave television. But Johnny Carson had Ed McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see anyone hosting a late night show that has anyone that even comes close.
No. Not even a little.
Yeah. Like Stephen Colbert doesn't have anyone. He has John Baptiste and Stay Human, but he doesn't use him enough.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Fallon has that guy who writes for SNL, but I don't even remember. Higgins, that's his name. Higgins.
Okay.
But he doesn't use him enough. He's no Ed McMahon. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel has a Mexican guy who's not in on the joke.
Jimmy Kimmel has Guillermo.
Yeah. But it's just, none of these people are Ed McMahon.
No.
Ed McMahon hosted his own variety show and it was amazing. I can't imagine Guillermo can't host his own variety show.
No.
Just sad.
Good friends with Dick Clark. Let's not forget.
Yeah. Hi, Maxwell. How are you doing?
Good.
You look tired. Are you tired?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to be taking a break soon, and then I can put you to bed. And then after that, I can get to the part I've been dreading of the podcast. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, you're clapping. Okay. So let's talk about Utah.
Okay.
Specifically, the town of Hilldale, Utah, which apparently is an actual place and just not the bad crime-ridden neighborhood of Back to the Future.
Yes.
Last November, the town elected its first female mayor.
All right.
Her name is Donia Jessup. Not only is she the first female mayor, but she is the first mayor of Hilldale, Utah, who is not a member of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
So you can already tell that everyone in this small town in Utah are super psyched, right?
Totally.
So this is what happened.
Christians love non-Christians.
Yeah. A mass exodus
Okay.
of white males quit their government jobs in town. 11 city employees resigned recently. One literally cited religious objections to working for a woman.
Oh, you're fucking kidding.
Yeah, can you believe that? Hilldale, Utah. Donia Jessup, the new mayor. And just white men are just leaving in droves, basically because they can't work under a woman. Thanks, Mike Pence.
Mm-hmm. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I said Mike Pence. Why are you clapping at? Wait, hold on, buddy. Wait, Maxwell, son of mine. Why are you clapping for the name Mike Pence?
Because he's amazing.
Do you know who Mike Pence is?
I really don't know, but I just think he's amazing.
Okay. All right.
Also thinks Mike Pence is amazing. Mm-hmm.
To be fair, I really liked Mike Pence when he was younger and he hung out with his talking dog Goliath.
Yes.
Back then, people called him Davy. That was his nickname. But when Mike Pence would hang out with his talking dog Goliath, I really liked Mike Pence then.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would always say this, "Gee, Davy, do you think it was God?" Not only is that a Davy and Goliath reference, that's also a reference from a specific episode of Mystery Science Theater. It was a referenceception.
Yes.
It was amazing. Let's stay on religion. Gloria Copeland,
Okay.
wife of
Ken Copeland.
Kenneth Copeland, the megachurch pastor and televangelist, which is a phrase that I didn't think I would still be saying in 2018.
No.
When it was 1987 and televangelists were getting arrested, I really didn't think that in 2018 I'd still be talking about televangelists. So televangelist Kenneth Copeland, his wife Gloria Copeland, posted a video on the church's Facebook page urging people not to get the flu shot.
Oh.
She said that there's no...
Good.
Yeah. She said that there is no such thing as flu season because, and I quote, Jesus himself gave us the flu shot. Now look, you could believe in Jesus Christ and the frickin' flu.
Yeah.
But here's what I really want to get at. I don't think this is wrong. Okay? I don't think this is going too far. Is it wrong of me to want to see how much it would cost to get a massive gaggle of flu sufferers to go and sneeze on her? I'm not saying I would do it. I just want to know how much it would cost. And I don't think that's that bad.
How far is she from you?
I have no idea.
Where's Kenneth Copeland?
I believe Kenneth Copeland is in Texas, so not that far. Seriously, put your shoes in your room, Maxwell. We've done this dance before. I just want to know how much it would cost. For example, there was always a book.
Now I want to know what it would cost, and if we could start a Kickstarter.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Now, this isn't news, but I just wanted to cover it. Allegedly, 150 people are killed each year by falling coconuts.
Okay.
Falling coconuts kill 150 people every year, as opposed to 5 people who die a year from sharks.
Yes. Coconuts
So,
are more deadly than sharks.
yeah. So my question is,
What?
coconut week. What would that look like?
Coconut week.
Yeah. What would coconut week look like? The only thing I can think of is that maybe just like recent Shark Weeks, maybe we could get Michael Phelps to race a coconut.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I would really enjoy watching somebody race coconuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so anyway, that's why I got a flu shot today. I forgot.
Okay.
Going back, they said, "Do you want a flu shot? You don't have to get a flu shot, but this is a pretty bad flu shot season. Should I get it?" And I was going to say no, but then I'm like, no. Gloria Copeland doesn't want me to.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me the flu shot, ma'am.
Well, I got a flu shot too, but for me, getting a flu shot is more like getting snacks at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
You know, you're just walking by and you're like, okay, what do you got? Yeah, I'll take one. What the hell? You know, so it's like is this flu shot costing me anything? No, the Medicare's got it. Like, fuck it, go ahead. What else you got?
I don't need it, but I'm here.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So finally, here's some shocking news, buddy.
All
shocking news. Shocking news that you're not going to believe. A number of big name retail stores, a number of them, apparently had a bad holiday season. So they're firing employees left and right. J.C. Penney's is firing roughly 600 people.
Yeah.
And my daughter, Amber, who is amazing, she's been working at J.C. Penney's for the longest time. And a lot of times I'll pick her up from work and I'll drive her home. And we used to have so much in common.
Yeah.
And we would just be talking and she'd be like, "Oh, I had such a horrible day." And I'm like, "Well, what made your day horrible?" "Well, you ever have someone who finds something in the clearance aisle and they think that it's on super sale when it's not? It's just that some other customer left it in the clearance section." And I'm like, "Oh my God, testify." So we really connected over our the pains of our job. So Amber sees sort of the writing in the wall. So now Amber is getting a new job at the same ice cream / hamburger place that is all over the Midwest that Emerald works at. So that's good.
Not the same one. Is it the same one?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the same freaking one. Emerald and Amber are going to be working at the same place. So basically, it's going to be a sitcom.
Yes.
I'm already working on getting a writer's room together to work on the scripts.
I just heard the theme to The Odd Couple in my head.
Oh, hold on. Walmart is firing thousands of employees and they're closing Sam's Clubs left and right. Thankfully, our Sam's Clubs are still together, because if Sam's Club wasn't around, I don't know what we would do. Yeah. And I think that's it. No other big chain of retail stores are firing people. Definitely not any store that I'll mention the name of specifically on this podcast. Well, that is it for the written parts of the show. Maxwell, seriously, you just kicked my arm. I got 2 shots today. I went to the doctor and I got 2 shots. I got 1 shot here and I got 1 shot here. And my arms hurt like crazy. So just if you could try and not kick your dad in the arm, is that okay, Jean-Claude Van Maxwell? That's your new name. Jean-Claude Van Maxwell, okay?
No.
No?
It's Maxwell Edward Orlando.
Good. I'm so glad you finally know what your middle name is, because it was really touch and go there for a while. Yeah, your middle name is Edward. your name was originally going to be Edward. You were going to be Edward Galindo. But we had to change it because we realized that we had a daughter named Bella, and we would have a son named Edward. And we couldn't have a Bella and Edward in the same household because of a book that you will never read that was written for teenage girls about sparkly vampires.
Yes.
It's a long story. So anyway, that's the parts that I've written. I want to talk at length about what happened to me while also being incredibly vague.
Okay.
And just be real honest about this, because this is my entire life has been turned upside down.
At least, yes.
So I would like to take a minute. So just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
Yes.
So why don't we take a break and we can get to the nitty gritty part of this, the nitty gritty dirt band part of this podcast. And also, yes, Maxwell, did you want to say something? Because you have been saying dad every 5 seconds while I've been recording the podcast. What is it that you wanted to say, Maxwell, on the podcast?
Well, I am a fan of the podcast.
I know you're a fan of the podcast. You're a very big fan of the podcast. And we appreciate that. You're a big fan of your dad's.
I'm his #1 fan.
You might have to challenge Bruce Nobles to a fight.
Yes.
But we're not going to have that now. We're going to save that for a pay-per-view. Maybe at Summers. But do you have anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah. Well, I just realized that everything is a clue to me that Saucer didn't crash in Oklahoma.
Wait, a demon saucer crashed in Oklahoma? Is that what you're saying?
No. Yeah, it was a demon saucer. It didn't crash in Oklahoma. It crashed in China.
China. You said that perfectly, like our president. China.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. When it crashed in China.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I know why the saucer came.
Oh, so you know why the saucer, the
see
demon
that.
saucer crashed in China. Why did the saucer crash in China?
Well, I'll tell you. For China because it hated Oklahoma.
So the demon saucer hated Oklahoma, so it decided that the best way to attack Oklahoma was to attack China.
No. It attacked Oklahoma. It attacked China because the demon saucer had demons in it, and the demons were actually demons. They were before they became demons. They were parents that had kids. So they were.
Are you saying that I might turn into a demon alien? Because I'm a parent. I have kids. You're really starting to worry me, Maxwell.
No. Well, the demon people weren't actually demons. The day that, they were Oklahoma people.
Yeah.
They became demons because they hated China like us.
We don't hate China, Maxwell. We like China.
But maybe they turned into demons because they got flu shots.
No.
Is it because of the flu shots?
I would keep an eye on your father tonight.
Was that a false flag? That's what Alex Jones would say.
It was a flaw. That was a false flag.
false flag.
That
Okay.
was a false flag.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they didn't hate China. They hated Oklahoma. And best way to
Yeah, but we all hate Oklahoma.
kill the China people and destroy the cities and make a giant castle in China. And learn to speak
Chinese.
Chinese.
There you go. Well, I can't argue with that logic. With that airtight logic. That's science. Is what that is.
You're going to have to teach them about saying the China people.
Yeah. They're just called Chinese. The Chinese. Or Chinese people. Not the China people. That might be a band in 1982.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or collectible figurines.
Yeah. Brittany and the China people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or, collectible figurines. So why don't we take a break and then we can get to the really fun stuff.
Yeah.
Should we take a break? Should we take a break?
We should take a break.
We should take a break. We will be right back with more.
The Poponzo after these commercial messages.
Maxwell. Wait, going back in time. You just took this to a weird place. But hold on. No, hold on. Shh. Maxwell. You don't have school tomorrow.
I know that because I'm going to be
Don't wake me up at 6 a.m, okay? Please. You do not have to wake me up to ask if you can turn the TV on. You can just turn the TV on. Just lower it, okay?
Okay. Going back in time to 1981.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But okay. I'm not going to, I won't deny, though, that it's catchy. That's a toe tapper. That's a toe tapper.
Bob will never tell a lie. Bob will never make a misleading statement. Bob will never betray the confidence that you've shown. Bob will never avoid a controversial issue.
I personally value my own name, Reverend Steve, at being worth about $9 billion. So I'm a billionaire now.
Face! Put the gun down! Here are your names. Mr. White, Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Who cares what your name is?
Yeah, that's easy for you to say. You're Mr. White. You have a cool sounding name.
Let's go to work.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that something ain't right.
What happens if the manager won't give you the diamonds?
Cut off one of his fingers. The little one.
I feel scared in case I fall out of the chair. And I'm wondering how I'll get down the stairs.
If they hadn't done what I told them not to do, they'd still be alive.
It's so hard to keep the smile from my face. I'm all over the place.
You're acting like a first-year thief. I'm acting like a professional.
And your friend they all come running, slap you on the back and say,
Choice he's been doing 10 years. He can have some stupid mother. Ain't no choice at all. Bam. Bam, 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 bam.
You're under arrest, sugar.
Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi, Lawrence Tierney, and Michael Madsen. They're the Reservoir Dogs.
Hey, Joe, want me to shoot this guy?
Miramax Films is proud to present one of the most celebrated motion pictures of the year. The winner of the 1994 Palme d'Or, the best picture of the Cannes Film Festival.
Come on, let's get in character. Why are you so interested in Big Man's wife? Well, he's going out of town, Florida, and he asked me if I'd take care of her while he's gone. Take care? No, man. Just show her a good time, make sure she don't get lonely. Girl, you see, this is a moral test of oneself.
I do believe Marcellus, my husband, your boss, told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted.
Whether or not you can maintain loyalty.
Night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. Pride only hurts, it never helps. In the fifth, your ass goes down.
I have to say, play with matches, you get burned.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal.
We're in a lot of danger, aren't we?
I'm prepared to scour the earth for that moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? Get down, get down.
You got a corpse in a car, minus the head in the garage. Take me to it.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Maria de Medeiros, Bing Rames, Eric Stoltz, Rosanna Arquette, Christopher Walken, and Bruce Willis.
Looking at something, friend? Ain't my friend looking.
Die, you mother!
A new film directed by Quentin Tarantino. Pulp Fiction.
You really thinking about quitting?
Most definitely.
What you gonna do then?
Basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean walk the earth?
You know, like Kane in Kung Fu.
And we're back with more of the Pope on Film. First off, like to apologize for any regular listeners who may have tuned in expecting to hear smart alecky comments about the film Get Out. We will not be talking about that.
No.
Secondly, it's important to note the usual format of the show. There's a possibility that there might be a few new listeners to the show. Konnichiwa. So this is how the show usually works. There are 3 sections. The first section is kind of like a late night monologue. We get things warmed, get things rolling, tiny little bits, tiny little things here and there, and maybe a monologue, some jokes, look at the news.
Much fun.
Much fun. The second part of the show, the second section, is usually home to 2 segments. Number 1 is our homework segment, which I love very much. And it's usually something that I have assigned and we discuss, we talk about, and that's a lot of fun. The second section is a section, long-running section of the show, called Notes from the Bookstore.
Yes.
A fictional look at a fictional bookstore. It's as fictional as Lake Wobegon, and I have always said that.
Yes.
The third part is the main course. That's when we discuss this week's movie. We look at the stats, the making of the film. We break it down. Sometimes we break down the plot. So I was fired from my job after 17 years. When I was fired, I was shaking and I was crying as I carried my Storytime costumes and my treasure box to my car. But as I sat in my car, I cried for a long time, and I was crying and I was shaking and I was hyperventilating, and I just didn't know what I would do and how I would continue on. But one thing, after a few minutes, White Stripes was playing in the car. For those of you keeping score at home, White Stripes was playing in the car. One thing comforted me while I was in that car. First thing, I called my wife, and through tears, I said, "Honey, I'm coming home." And she knew.
Yeah.
And my wife has been amazing. We're going to get through this together. One thing I used to say in California back when the job was very difficult and I just wanted to leave is that she always said, no matter what happens, it's you and me against the world.
Yeah.
And so my wife has been amazing. And no.
I know.
So that made me feel better, but she said, don't come home if you can't do it. And I didn't know if I could drive, so I just stayed there and kind of cried it out. I moved my car, so technically I was crying in front of the skeleton of the Michael's craft store.
Ah, okay.
I didn't want to be crying in front of the bookstore. The store that shall not be named.
Yes.
If in this segment you hear me talking about a bookstore, it's obviously the fictional bookstore from our long-running fictional segment, Notes from the Bookstore. It's as fictional as Lake Wobegon, and I have always said that.
Or
Boldest Store? I like that. One thing comforted me, besides my wife, something came into my head, because I'm that type of guy who is shaking and having a panic attack and hyperventilating and crying. And then something weird pops into my head and I'm laughing.
Yeah.
And that one thing that cheered me up is this. Next week on the Pope on Film, it's the shocking series finale of Notes from the Bookstore.
Yes.
Who lives? Who dies? Who will be left standing? This long-running segment comes to a close next week. It's the series finale of Notes from the Bookstore. So tune into that next week. That's going to be exciting. You know?
Yeah.
So many loose ends. How is that going to finish?
Mm-hmm.
Very excited about that. So, let's talk about Twitter.
Okay.
In the Monday morning, I had roughly 500 Twitter followers.
Yeah.
I was going to say the majority, but that's not true. A large portion of them are dating website bots.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't know why I was popular with dating website bots, but there was a period in time about a year or two ago where I would, like 4 or 5 times a week, I would just be getting, Svetlana follows you. And I go, okay, I will follow Svetlana back. And then Svetlana will post like 5 times a day, and it'll be funny homespun statement. And then it'll be inspirational quote. Funny homespun statement. Quote from a movie. Dating sites are very popular and a good way to meet singles. You can meet singles here. that was just a huge part of my feed, and I don't want to go into specifics because of a massive, lengthy packet of paper
Okay.
that I have in my living room, my kitchen table. But let's just say that it's important to note that I was fired.
Yeah.
I was given no paperwork. I was given no warning. I was given no nothing to sign.
Really?
I was not told how to act. I was not told how to respond. I was read a small prepared statement of about 2 or 3 sentences, and then I was escorted out of the store after I cleaned, after I got my stuff together.
Yeah.
So I am 100% clear, since I was absolutely positively 100% fired, to have gone on Twitter and aired out my sadness. I'm not angry. I'm not upset. I'm not bitter. I'm sad.
Yeah.
To me, it's not about the loss of a job. It's just about Mr. Steve. Kids gave me that name.
Yeah.
Kids gave me that name. The way that it worked was I would just be doing story time. And my name was Steve. My name is Steve. I'm going to be doing story time today. And one kid came up to me and said, "What can I call you?" Well, okay, you can call me Steve. No, the kid was he was super polite, and he would drive all the way from Davis, California, every week to come to story time. It's like an hour drive.
Yeah.
And he would come to watch story time, and yeah, he would drive. He would drive himself. Super talented kid. He was advanced.
That's cool.
Yeah. So he said, "No, I need your last name because you're an adult. I can't just call you Steve. What's your name? I need to call you Mr. something." And I said, "Well, okay, well, my last name is Galindo." And he said, "So your name is Mr. Gayin? So you're Mr. Steve." And I said, "Yeah, yes, you can just call me Mr. Steve." So the kids gave me that name, and that's very important to me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's about the kids. They would come from Norman and Moore and Chickasha and Oklahoma City and Shawnee and Seminole and Midwest City. They would come from far distances once a week, come and see me. Some kids would even come as far as Blanchard. Blanchard, Bunny? Do you know how far Blanchard is?
No, I don't.
Neither do I.
But it sounds far.
Because there's a bajillion cities in this crazy small state. I don't know how. It's amazing. And I always, when I was at work helping customers, some customer would be talking to me about some place they visited, and I would always make the mistake of saying, "Oh, where's that?"
Yeah.
Like I know the 1 bajillion cities in this state. So they'd say, "Oh, it's over by Ticonderoga, over by Shingle Ridge, over there in the Rush Hills, over in Ticonderoga County."
Yeah.
And I go, "Oh yeah, totally. I know exactly where that is. Yes. Okay, sure." But apparently Blanchard is far. I started reading at my store in Phoenix. Shout out to Metro Center. I would occasionally read there. We had someone in charge of the children's area, but sometimes she just wouldn't be there, and the manager needed someone to read. So I was the only person in the store apparently with acting experience. And I moved to Sacramento, and I made a big name for myself, and I would travel to schools and I would travel to churches. I started doing birthday parties.
Yeah.
I did story time there for 9 years. I did story time at a birthday party at a pizza place for a 2-year-old child. And I also was hired to do a story time for a 70-year-old woman whose dog wanted to kill me.
Oh, great.
Because I was probably the first Latino person who had ever gone into that expensive 3-story house.
Uh-huh.
I thought for sure that dog was going to bite my limbs off. So I had been doing story time in Oklahoma for about 5 years or 6 years, and there were other parts of the job. You know, I lifted heavy boxes. I set up displays. I shelved. I was the person you talked to when you couldn't find something. I was the person you went to.
Mhm.
So now everything's just going to be gone, I guess, because I'm not there. But
Well,
I
they're
did
just going to have to find it for their own fucking selves.
Yeah. So I had been with a certain company for about 17 and a half years. And I was in mourning when I went on Twitter and I started. At first, I just wanted to talk about my career.
Yeah.
I had a very long-running, successful career, and it's a bit ridiculous that someone who got a full-page article in a corporate newspaper might be let go for no reason.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get on Twitter, and I was basically going through the 7 stages of grief, and I just wanted to talk about... There's 7, right? 5?
I don't know. Denial, anger.
Kubler-Ross.
Pretty sure like 5.
Denial, anger, sadness, joy is a horrible person, but she's the voice of Leslie Knope. Oh, now I'm just talking about Inside Out. Okay, never mind. 7 or 5. The stages of grief.
Yes.
43. Hike. 42. It's probably 42.
We go back to
42.
depression a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And you add a couple in there. You're like, add
So I posted a thread about my career, about this and that. And next thing I knew, I went from having 500 Twitter followers to having 1,000, almost 1,200 Twitter followers.
Wow.
Within the space of a day and a half.
Yeah.
And the thing that I'm comfortable talking about is the reaction of people to my story. It's amazing. So many people are now just supporting me and want me to succeed, and that makes me feel better. But then there are some people, a large amount of people blame Trump.
I wouldn't congratulate Trump, but
a lot of people blame Trump for me losing my job, for me getting fired. No, he doesn't own the store that must not be named. But it's just oh, so the tax cuts were supposed to be so successful, and yet people like the Reverend Steve are losing their jobs. Hard working people. It's like, okay, Trump didn't fire me.
Yeah.
A really nice manager who didn't want to and was crying the entire time fired me.
Yeah.
And who repeatedly apologized to me because she didn't want to. She fired me at the behest of other people. Trump had nothing to do with this, and you don't have to blame him. You can, though, because it's great to blame Trump.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying you don't have to.
If everybody, when there's an increase in the job market, and there's an increase in this, and there's an increase in that, and everybody's like, oh, Trump is doing so amazing. Look at all these things that are improving. You know what? We can go ahead and blame him for the things that are going to shit, too. He's got to take credit where credit is due.
That is a good point.
Everybody blame Obama doing shit like this, so why not Trump? Nobody wanted to credit Obama with the good shit, but they want to, Republicans are like they like credit when good shit happens, and they want to deny and blame other people when the bad shit happens. But when bad shit happens, it's not even in the control of the president. Like the gas prices. Remember that?
Oh,
thanks,
God, they
Obama.
hated
Thanks,
Obama.
That's Obama's fault. What did Obama have to do with the price of fucking oil in Iraq?
They
Or
hated
the fucking price of oil
Obama.
in fucking wherever the hell it came from.
They hated Obama when the gas prices were high, but when the gas prices were low, well, Obama didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can blame Trump if you want to. You don't have to. Some people,
Do you guys have them?
I became so big on Twitter that for what might be one of the first times ever, I started getting attacked by like trolls.
Yeah?
By Twitter people. Yeah, apparently I'm a crybaby. Apparently I'm acting like a hero, and maybe that's why I was fired.
Okay.
Apparently, if I ever get fired, remind me not to act like this guy.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm a lib turd.
Right.
And apparently people get fired all the time, and I just need to nut up.
Okay.
And also one guy said that I should not worry about a job and maybe worry more about becoming a legal citizen.
Oh, all right.
That guy was blocked pretty quickly. But the majority of people were just, apparently I struck a nerve, and stories like this are happening all over the place. And I was also surprised by how many other people who had the same thing happen to them quickly just appeared. And it was like, oh yeah, me too. I was fired like this. I was fired at this time. I was there for this many years. And as is now the case of public record from people other than me, as you can see all over social media, some people were fired on the phone.
Yeah.
Legal.
Some people were fired over Facebook Messenger.
Oh.
Some people were told on social media that they were not supposed to come in anymore.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah.
Are these all Volder store employees?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And here's another vague generality that I just want to say that is in no way related to any specific store. It's messed up for a corporation, any corporation, to fire a large swatch of people solely because, hey, you are a great employee and you've had a number of successes. However, you have this position and we're firing all people with this position. Goodbye.
Yeah, you just fortunate enough to hold this position in the store.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, that really pisses me off.
And again, we're talking vague generalities about
a
corporations.
store.
About corporations.
But the Volta store, they know you don't make it to this specific position without spending a significant amount of time there or coming in from an outside source with that experience.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, as often as we did see that happen, I feel that this Boulder store didn't do that as often as I'd like to think they did. So they usually try to hire from within for those people who've been there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So every single person who hypothetically got laid off, they've been there for a minimum of 5 years, I want to say. And that's a while. And that's a hard pill to swallow. But you can move on easier from that than, say, 10 years, 15, 20.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that's your lifeblood, and it's being torn away.
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck you're supposed to do from then on out.
Yeah.
You've spent the last 2 decades, or almost 2 decades, I mean, shit, Steve's had this job longer than I've known him.
Yeah.
At a job.
Had a job.
At
Boulder Store longer than I've known him. It's been a constant in his life longer than I have, and I'm his fucking wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult. I imagine it's difficult for everybody who was possibly.
It's like losing a limb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I can.
That.
I know I can bounce back.
And
it's just.
Now I understand. I understand, though, that you'd hear story. I don't know if you guys did, but I'd hear stories about people who'd go into retirement or be forced into retirement, and they don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do with the rest of their lives because they spent however many years of their life getting up at a certain time, getting dressed, putting on a tie, going into the office, doing this, doing that. Remember that Gilmore Girls episode?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, Bunny. My body is waking me up at 5:30 every morning.
Oh.
Which is weird because I didn't even wake up then. I would wake up at like 6.
Wait till the dreams come.
Oh. But my body is just every morning I'm waking up at 5:30 and I'm like, no, body, we're going back to bed. And my mind's like, let's remember all the lyrics to Hamilton.
No, wait for the dreams where you start. You'll be back in receiving. You'll be in a real big rush to do something, because if you don't get that something done, you'll get fired.
Yeah.
That'll be the rough narrative of the dream.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of positives.
Yeah.
Here's a positive. My wrists are going to feel a lot better. It has been difficult to lift 40-pound boxes for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 2.5 years. I've seen other receiving managers end up like horses being let out to pasture because receiving was too hard for them.
Yeah.
So many receivers who
Even
are
receivers,
just in pain.
They went and got surgery.
Yeah.
On their wrist, come back, and only eventually to have to give it up because they just couldn't do it because it's hard. It's a hard job. It's hard on your body.
I remember Q, and she would during her breaks have to like put her arms in this like UV machine.
After her surgery.
Yeah,
and then after that there was Marissa and Jesse, Kyle, who wasn't even a fucking receiving manager, but they put him in there and made him act like one and didn't want to give him the fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
It's just so many. We've seen so many.
Are we talking about Kyle, the bookseller?
No, that's Kai.
Oh, okay.
Kai. He is a rap superstar.
They knew each other, though.
They did know each other, though, yeah. There were a lot of alpha males in that store. So yeah, what I'm trying to realize is that I'm just every morning I wake up and I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do anything. I do because I have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one good thing is that my children make sure if it wasn't for the children, I would never leave this room. I would just want to stay in this house and never leave and just peek out of the windows afraid.
Yeah.
But I have kids. I have people who depend on me, and I'm up every morning and I'm getting these kids ready for bed, and I'm wrestling with Bella to get out of her bed, and I'm making sure Maxwell, get dressed. 5 minutes later, all I hear are Legos. Maxwell, stop playing with the Legos and get dressed. And that's why I have to wake up earlier than usual, than I imagine normal American parents do, because these two kids specifically, it's a freaking wrestling match to get them out of the door. and then Emerald and Amber, and I've got to drop them off here and pick them up, and it's just, thank God I have a family right now.
Yeah.
You know, because they are just making sure, like, you got this. Eleanor somehow knows that something is wrong.
Yeah?
She can barely talk, but she knows that something's wrong because every once in a while, she'll just hug me and start patting me on the shoulder.
Aww.
So somehow she just knows. The weird thing is that apparently I was feeling I was at least looking a bit down and depressed yesterday while I was giving her a bath. So
Okay.
she's in the water and she immediately stands up and dripping wet. Dada, hug. And I'm like,
Aw.
no, I can't. Okay, I'll go with this. And she just drenches me in water, giving me a big fat hug. And I'm just dripping wet. But she's just, no, Daddy, come here. Come here. Bring it in. Bring it in. Yeah, no, we're doing this. Yes?
Superstition
Yes, honey?
Springs.
Superstition Springs? That's in Arizona?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, what are you reading?
That's a map of Arizona. Those are 5 Outback Steakhouses.
Oh my goodness, I showed that to you like a long time
No,
ago.
you didn't.
Yeah, Outback Steakhouses are all laid out in pentagrams. It's a massive conspiracy. It might be the deep state. The majority of I've seen a number of maps like that, not just Superstition Springs, but a number of
But
maps of
there's
other cities.
Also, the Superstition Freeway runs through it. Walmart's in the center, so it could be a gate to hell.
Yeah.
Well, that's where the FEMA camps are.
Yeah.
There's Crossroads Town Center, and
The Crossroads.
The Crossroads.
Yeah.
That's where demon deals are made.
Yeah.
And Springs.
And where Lou Diamond Phillips movies are made.
And Ralph Macchio learned how to play the blues.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Was Diamond Phillips in that? I don't know if he was in that. I was thinking Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
So the positive side, there's a number of positives. For example, tonight's inventory.
Good. Yes.
I didn't want to do that. Especially because apparently a small select amount of stores are chosen to have these expensive auditors look over everything.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like a regular inventory with all these people, but also there's a team of men in black looking over your every move.
Okay.
So it's like there's 2 teams. There's 3 teams. So there's you, the employees, and then there's the people who are counting the books because we hire a group to do the inventory. The people in Oklahoma who do it are nice, but sometimes they're not the quickest people in the bunch.
Yeah.
Not the greenest bananas in the bunch. In California, though, oh my goodness. Oh, hey, a person who's coming in to do receiving. Interesting teardrop tattoo. For the people who would do the inventory in California. I've seen a fight break out in an inventory.
Yeah. Nice.
Between 2 inventory people. So it's just nasty. And so not only is it you, the employees, and then the people who are doing inventory, but now there's like men in black who have been hired from an accounting firm that are going to also be going over your books and making you look stuff up while you're trying to also keep your eye on the people who are doing the actual inventory. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do. Now I don't have to.
Good. And
On
that
the
is definitely a positive.
Yeah. Positive side, my health is going to be better. I don't have to be in inventory. One thing I'm going to be sad about is that I was going to wear a taco outfit all day during Macho Nacho Day.
Yes.
So that's gone. I will say that, again, public record, the store that I was fired from, less than 24 hours afterwards, the store posted on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter a lengthy picture and article about how I was unfortunately let go and it is beyond the store's control and that they are sad to see me go and they will miss me and they wish me well in any future endeavors. And it stayed up for about 24 hours until, I'm assuming, corporate made them take it down. So, and here's another thing that I will say. Once again, not talking about any corporation at all.
Yeah.
I'm just talking in general.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an employee who has diagnosed bipolar disorder,
Yeah.
and also that employee has a severe case of post-traumatic stress disorder from a incident with a robber and a gun that happened in the store,
Mm-hmm.
then many people could see severe emotional distress happening from hiring this man and keeping him in a position for almost 2 decades. And then with no warning, no 2-week notice, just
extreme paranoia.
Yeah, there's a man who gets extreme paranoia suddenly pulling the rug from under that man.
Yeah.
Many people could see that as severe emotional distress from a person who has health issues.
I would agree. Yes, I would agree a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
And really, corporate taking down that message. That's a real fucking dick move. That's a dick move on a lot of levels. Not only is it a dick move against you, it's a dick move against everybody who's going to fucking show up this Saturday.
Yep.
You mean who's not going to show up?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's why Saturday...
they won't show up once they find out Steve's gone.
That's why this Saturday I will be streaming a live short story time from, I'm not sure where, I think the kitchen table.
Okay.
That wakes me up for that.
You're not going to be up at 11 in the afternoon? Well, never mind. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Bella. It's just, I don't want to not do it.
Yeah.
And also, I eventually posted a note on my Storytime with Mr. Steve Facebook group saying that I was fired, I was let go, it was a cost-cutting measure. Cost-cutting measure, again, is a statement that was also used on the store's page.
Huh.
On their nice note, it was a cost-cutting measure. It was unfortunate. But I'm trying to let people know that I still want to entertain kids. I still want to do story time. So this Saturday, I will be streaming Storytime Live on my Facebook page. After that, hopefully, I will be able to transition maybe to a YouTube page, maybe to Twitch. I'm not even sure what it is, but apparently people can send me money in it. So it's like YouTube, but I don't have to bow down to sponsors. And
it's like YouTube. It seems populated mostly by people who
play video games
for a living. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've heard of other people doing like online classes and tutorials and things like that. So that's about all I really know about Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it either. I know about Twitch in the same way that I know about Stitcher.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to get some things together. A lot of people on my Twitter page want me to get a YouTube page. A ton of people want me to get a YouTube page.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make one, and we're gonna do it. And Emerald's a 16-year-old girl, and she's a bit of a mystery to me. I'm her 40-year-old father.
Yeah.
But I wasn't 100% aware what she was taking classes for.
Yeah.
At a technology school. What is she taking classes for? I want the official term. Digital media production.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, she's getting pretty good at graphics and editing.
Cool.
That's what she's taking classes for. And she's basically like come up to the plate and said, yeah, because I always thought that I could have like a successful YouTube page for my story time. So I've been doing story time for over 14 years. But the thing that always got me was I would need to edit this.
Yeah.
And I cannot. But then Emerald just came up to the plate and said, Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
No, she didn't.
I can't.
I said, "Hey, edit," and she said, "Yeah."
Oh, so yeah. So Natasha said, "Would you edit?" And Emerald said, "Yep."
Cool.
So we're gonna do this. The only thing that's stopping me from being a success is my own crippling doubt.
I am sure that's true.
It's just weird because I've for a long time talked about my religion in the Church of Ed Wood, and Ed Wood wanted to be a filmmaker, and so he became a filmmaker. He didn't have the money, he didn't have the cast, he didn't have the set, he didn't have the script, he had all of these obstacles in front of him, but he didn't let the reality of his own situation get in the way of stopping my dreams.
Yeah.
Now I've found myself in a position where I've given almost 2 decades of my life to a company who has decided blindly and for no real reason other than the title I had to try and destroy my life.
Yeah.
So now suddenly it's weird because it's like I imagine if a Christian who reads the Bible constantly suddenly is at the zoo and literally tumbles into a lion's den.
Okay.
And it's like, oh man, I've been talking about this so much. Now I'm living it. Basically, that's me. Suddenly I have to not just preach the word of Ed Wood. I've got to live this.
Yes.
I have always had a dream of what I could be as a storyteller and as a kid's entertainer and as someone online and as a book writer. Natasha and I, the other day, we were waiting for Maxwell and we were in the car for like 10 or 15 minutes and we were shooting ideas and they were all so freaking good. And there's ideas and there's stuff. And we need to... We had a little bit. And we have ideas and we have things. It's just... I need to do it. The only thing that's stopping me is me.
Yeah.
Right now. But I think...
I understand. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I think I can do this.
I think you could do this.
I know you can do it.
Because a corporation that I still love, some people call me stupid for that.
Maybe a little stupid.
A massive amount of people got my story and said, "Oh, I will never shop here again. Boycott this and that." And it's like, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
So I posted a statement. I posted another statement on my Twitter and I said, please don't take this out on your local store.
Yeah.
Your local store didn't do this to me. Some people in suits in New York and New Jersey did this to me.
Yeah.
Not the people in your store. That will just hurt local stores. That will hasten the demise of bookstores. That will hasten the demise of books. Hate the corporation. Don't hate really nice people at your local bookstore.
Yes.
Who are just trying to make ends meet. And now they have less experienced people, and they're going to need all the help they can get.
Yes.
That is not a popular statement for people who went on Twitter and read my story and said, pitchforks at the ready. Because I never went on Twitter in anger. I had a dream job, and I freaking loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to see this major part of my life gone. But I think I can do this. Natasha knows I can. I just also need to know I can. And I'm working on it.
And obviously, I mean, it should go without saying, if you need anything from me, just let me know.
Okay, I might hit you up on that.
With it being live, it makes it kind of difficult,
Well, well, this week it's going to be live. After that, I'm going to see what I can do.
Yeah.
I'll definitely need more books.
Yeah.
But that's basically all I have to say, except for the fact that I'm obviously psychic.
Yes.
On this podcast, I have talked at length about my incredible psychic mind powers
Mhm.
that I'm only partially serious about. But there was something in the air. My psychic mind power told me weapons at the ready.
Yes.
You know, there was something in my psychic mind, my spidey sense was tingling. And I remember like 3 weeks ago throwing out the trash and said, okay. So I'm throwing out the trash and for no real reason whatsoever. Hey, Steve, maybe now's the time to consider the intricate details of my company's severance package.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how it works. And I'm there throwing out the trash while also trying to figure out exactly how much I would get in the event that this would happen. Not like it would.
Yeah.
But that was my psychic power saying, Steve, be prepared. Thank you, honey, because I was going to make like a Lion King reference, but I wasn't sure what reference, and you just went for it. Thank you, honey. We're a good team. We're a good team. We're Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. You're flipping a coin,
Heads.
and it's always coming up heads.
Heads.
Yeah. Heads.
Heads.
And then, I went on. There's a number of Facebook groups for employees of companies, and a lot of companies secretly, not controlled by corporate, have closed groups of Walmart employees.
Yeah.
And this is a closed group on Facebook, and the only way you can join this group is if you are an employee of Walmart. And then that is a group where employees can come in and kind of talk shop and kind of talk smack about the company. And then there are subcategories where, we are Walmart receivers only. And you can talk about problems you're having. You can talk about, did you also get this weird delivery in?
Yeah.
300 copies of Settlers of Catan. I was in a group of employees of a store.
Yeah.
And there was something like 2 weeks ago that just said, you know what? Maybe I should get on this group of like thousands of employees of this company and just remind them how long I've been working with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted a post of my first customer, and I'm at the register and I'm having a hard time. And the guy says, "What's the problem?" And I said, "I'm sorry, sir. This is just my first day, and you're my first customer, and I apologize." And the guy just laughed in my face.
Yeah.
And said, "Wait, you chose to work here? These stores are closing down. You'll be out of a job in a month." And he laughed in my face. And now look at me. I have been gainfully employed with this corporation for 17 and a half years. I like to find that man and tell him stories of my lengthy career.
Yeah.
There was something in me, spidey sense, that said I should remind everyone of how long I have been here and how difficult this has been. So once the news happened, it's funny because like I'm depressed, but my phone is still beeping with messages of people in this group liking my post.
Really nice.
Yeah. So what I did was I went to the original post and I wanted to post something, and I wasn't sure what. I wanted it to really showcase what had happened, but I also didn't want it to be negative, so I just posted a GIF. And it's a GIF of Back to the Future 2, and old Marty McFly is getting a million facts that say you're fired.
Yeah.
And so now it's really hitting on people that it's like, oh man, I love this post. Let me read the comments. Oh. And why did I post that? Psychic mind powers. I specifically messaged Jeannie on Friday. Yes. Just to be safe, I am doing this story time tomorrow like it's the last one ever.
Yes. I'm pretty sure I saw that one. I think you messaged me too on that one.
Yeah. And I went full throttle with this story time, and I was loud and I was crazy and I was screaming And it was just, I was amped up. I was pumped. I was jazzed. Like Robin in the Lego Batman movie. I was jazzed. And I just went all out as if it was my last story time. And when I first started, there were like 8 kids at story time. But as I went on with story time, apparently the weather was so cold that all of the people who were coming to story time were just late. So by the end of story time, I had like 40 kids.
Nice.
And it just felt right. At one point in time, I sometimes when I finish a book, I'll like flip it in the air and catch it. And one kid said, "Why do you do that, Mr. Steve?" And I said, "Because I've been here for 17 and a half years and I had to get good at something." And the kids laughed, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, this might be it."
Yeah.
Of course, there's no way for me to know that. The only way that I would know that is if I had massive psychic mind powers, which I do.
Yes, you do.
Now it's 100% official. I'm going to become like the New Jersey medium, the Long Island medium. That's going to be my thing now.
All right, cool.
I'm going to get a reality show, and I'm going to get a TV show on NBC where some actor is going to play me. I'm not sure who.
Ryan Reynolds.
No, I'm thinking of someone who really looks like me. I'm thinking Louis Gossett Jr.
Is he even still alive?
I have no idea. I want to end on a positive note. This morning I was on Twitter. I was on YouTube, and I'm really upset because I'm like, oh hey, I am off of work now. I can watch more YouTube because there's always YouTube videos I have to watch. I collect them in a watch later playlist. And last week, I swear I had like 120 something videos that I had to watch. Bella and I just went through them. We got them down to like 90.
Nice.
So I wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. Got my glasses. I'm out the door. I'm going to hit this city. Brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack. Yeah, I brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack Daniel's barbecue sauce. It's really weird.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
So I look and see I look and see the videos that were posted during the evening and early morning, and I put them on my Watch Later playlist. So my Watch Later playlist is, here's a monologue from James Corden. Here's a funny bit from Stephen Colbert. Here's Samantha Bee.
Yeah.
Here's... I've got all of these things on there. None of them are on now because of the freaking Olympics.
Oh.
No TV show is basically doing new shows except for Jimmy Kimmel. Because Jimmy Kimmel's Jimmy Kimmel. He knows he's not like in the top 2, so he's doing whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah.
Basically. If he's not in the top 2, then it's not much of a race, so he's just doing whatever he wants. But there's no new Stephen Colbert, there's no new Jimmy Fallon, there's no new anything. And it's really frustrating because I thought I had time now to watch it, but I don't. But I saw a commercial this morning, and it's an NBC commercial, and it goes like this. NBC is now the most watched network on television.
Okay.
Now let me break that stuff down for you, okay? They didn't say NBC is now number 1 in the ratings.
Mm-hmm.
They said we're the most watched network on television. And let me tell you why. 3 reasons. Number 1, the freaking Super Bowl.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Number 2, the freaking Olympics. And number 3, This Is Us, which just makes people cry, and everybody loves that show. But they're not number 1 in the ratings. They're number 1 in the amount of people who have watched NBC shows. But that's basically the Super Bowl. Any station that has the Super Bowl can say that.
Yeah.
It's a cheat, and it's ridiculous.
It's a cheat, and it's a fucking lie.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Goddamn bastages.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my story. That's my podcast. That's the podcast this week. I don't want to do Get Out. I was going to watch it on Monday after I got home from work, and then I got home and I go, I'm sorry, I'm not watching Get Out.
Okay.
sure it's going to be a good movie. I just never watched it. I'm having a horrible week, and I don't want to watch something that's going to be a good psychological, racially tinted thriller. I just want something dumb and stupid that I can make fun of.
Yes.
So
I understand that feeling a lot.
So, Bunny.
Yes.
I have a question. This is a difficult question, as Eleanor screams in the background. I have a question. It's a difficult question.
Okay.
I am asking a lot of you.
Okay.
Bella, don't say a thing. Okay? I am asking a lot of you, but we've been doing this podcast since like October of 2014, and now it's 2018, and we've grown close, and I love you very much. When my psychic powers told me something was happening and that it was going to affect me and my job performance, the first thing I said was, I need to tell Natasha. And Natasha said, being a very positive person, she said, relax, it could be nothing. And then I said, okay, I need to talk to someone who might believe me. I'm telling Bunny and Jeannie.
Yeah.
Because you were one of the first people you two were the first people I needed to tell. Because you mean a lot to me.
Thank
you guys mean a lot to me. Basically, you guys are family. Yeah. And you mean a lot to me. This podcast means a lot to me. It's such an important outlet for me. And I'm asking a lot of you.
Okay, what's up?
Next week.
Okay.
We can have the same homework, Jackass.
Right.
What has happened to them now? That article, that's interesting shit. These people who did the show Jackass and beat themselves up are now in their 40s and 50s. How is this affecting them? I'm interested in knowing that. Mm-hmm. Then there's the series finale of Notes from the Bookstore. The last Notes from the Bookstore ever. Who lives, who dies, who will live. Yeah, who lives, who dies, who tells your story.
Oh, that's a great title.
Next week, can we please do the Emoji Movie?
Okay.
Is that a yes? Because this movie
is it on? Is it on? It's a yes.
It's on freaking Netflix. It's on freaking Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Max always sees it and he goes, "Oh!" And I'm like, "No, we can't watch this. This is the worst of the worst. This is like Manos, the Hands of Fate, sponsored by McDonald's."
Yeah. And if you let Maxwell watch it, that could qualify as child abuse.
Yes, basically.
So there could be legal ramifications.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I can handle this because it's a stupid movie and it's horrible. This is my wheelhouse. Okay. I don't think I can do Get Out right now. I don't think I can do a serious movie. I can't do Schindler's List.
Yeah.
But I can do the Emoji
But how about Schindler's Fist?
Oh, well, that I watch all the time anyway.
Okay.
Oh, another thing I wanted to mention, shout out to Black people, gay people, and trans people, because out of the massive amount of followers that I've gotten over the last couple of days on Twitter, they're mostly African American, gay, bi, or trans people. And I love that.
Cool.
It's just these people who are kind of a minority voice in society heard me talking about my problems with capitalism, and really it touched them in some way. And that's the majority of people right now who are sharing my story.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
you are all welcome here.
Yes. All welcome here on the Pope on Film podcast. What I want to do is now go on Twitter and say that I have officially done my first public interview.
Yes.
About this issue. It is with the Pope on Film podcast. So if you would like to hear more about my problems, be sure and check out SoundCloud.
Cool.
Technically, that's the truth, and it's not necessarily cheap.
No.
Yeah. So, Oh, and let me tell you something. I told Bella that tonight, because none of the kids have school tomorrow, that I was going to drink.
Okay.
That I was going to drink tonight, and that I needed some alcohol. And Bella said, "That's bad." And I said, "Hold on, muchacho, because I am in a group of receivers. You have no idea how many receivers were drunk before 11 a.m. So many people had a bottle of Patron at 9:45 in the morning.
Really?
A lot. I was hearing from people in the Tulsa store that was like, "Oh, Steve, hey, I know we don't talk, but I just wanted to let you know that I was fired too, and I'm at a bar, and it's 10:30." And I'm like, "Good for you. I would be there too, but I have kids and responsibilities."
Yeah.
Then later that day, I'm like, "Okay, Amber, let's go home. I'm picking you up from Walls. Let's go home because I need alcohol in me." And she's like, "Oh, are you going to drink?" "Oh, you know what? You earned it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Thank you. I did."
Mm-hmm.
I drank a little bit Monday, and now I'm drinking today. So I think I've barely drank.
All things considered, no, you haven't.
So, Bunny, from the bottom of my heart, from the cockles of my heart, maybe below the cockles, maybe in the subcockle area.
Yeah.
In the liver, maybe in the kidney, maybe even in the colon. We don't know. But from the bottom of my something, thank you for this.
Oh, no problem.
This has been nice. This makes me feel.
I live for this. You know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But I've been worried because it's like this has been such a difficult time, and now I'm going to do the podcast. I've been worried, but like yesterday, it just hit me like, oh no, this is just the podcast. This is Bunny and Jeannie and Maxwell. This is always good, and I'm just going to do the podcast and record it and be honest and be truthful and relay the facts, and this will be good. And I feel so much better already.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
No problem.
But I think it's important not to release this episode as a special episode.
Uh-huh.
No, episode 151, instead of covering Get Out, which eventually we will get to because I hear it's a wonderful film. We are covering Firings.
Yes.
Termination.
I wanted to do a special episode mostly because you were drinking. It was like, oh yeah, let's get this story out of him while he's drinking. This will be some action.
Yeah. Well, I've had 2 Tecate not horribles. Seriously, Tecate is just battery acid. It's horrible.
Yeah. So
I'm really excited for Tecate Light because it's now the official beer of the Pope on Film podcast. Did you know that, honey?
I didn't. Do you think that Tecate Light will send you some beer now?
Maybe. Tecate Light, it doesn't taste like crap. So between Tecate Light and the Black Dress Warehouse, we've got Chia Souls.
Chia Souls.
We've got a pretty good list of sponsors.
Well, there's also the Henchman Warehouse.
Oh yes, a Nameless Henchman Warehouse.
Yes.
If you're going to be a supervillain, you need to stock up on Nameless Henchmen. Nameless Henchman Warehouse. We have such a ridiculous history.
We do.
I'm just worried that people will listen to this and this will be it. No, church organists.
Church organists.
Yeah.
No, get out.
Well, people won't get it at first, and other people. If we get a lot of listeners off of this, then we're going to get a lot of bitching too. You know?
Yes.
And it's like, oh, the kid's crying in the background. Oh, what's that ding sound that keeps happening? Or whatever else. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just cannot wrap my head around anymore how anybody...
It's okay, baby.
Anybody can get upset enough over something as stupid as like our podcast or something like that, that they need to make a comment about it and they need to let you know. Like
Yeah.
I don't get that. Like it doesn't seem important enough to me.
Yeah.
You know?
I have kids. I have a wife. I have a life. I have a family. They are here, and I'm not going to force them to shut up so I can record my podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now that we're at the end, honey, next week we're doing the emoji movie. I apologize. Now that we are at the end.
You need my random facts.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Before we end, I was worried that this podcast would be way too down. So Natasha has offered up one or two interesting facts.
Okay. What are those?
Say the one that you were talking about.
In the car?
Yeah, in the car.
Okay. Which one? Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them.
Okay,
Sure.
so
it's our podcast.
Women are liberated, right? We take birth control so that we don't get all knocked up and have to have an abortion.
Right.
Well, in some areas, there's so many women that take birth control, and a body does not function so effectively that it'll use all the hormones in a birth control. And so, where do the hormones go? When you use the bathroom, they go down the toilet. Where does that water go? Well, long story short, all of the estrogen is making a higher...
Please tell me fish have tits.
No.
Oh.
But there's a higher percentage of female fish being born, or hatched, I guess, instead of males. And that brings me to my next random fact. Because of global warming, the oceans are getting warmer. Because the oceans are getting warmer, it has created the perfect climate for all turtles to be born female. 99% of females are turtles are being hatched female.
Wow.
Thank you, global warming.
Yeah.
So, there's my random useless, well, not so useless facts.
What happens in the next generation?
That's an excellent question.
A lot of sea turtles die.
That's exactly it. I mean, unless, we stop polluting the earth and the male turtles live long enough to... No.
Excuse me.
Try to level it out. Oh, okay. This is what I said in the car. Sorry. Women are, in fact, inheriting the earth. We're taking over the world.
Yes.
And so we are going to have to evolve to be able to become asexual and reproduce on our own, where we don't need men.
You're gonna why the last man it.
Yeah, we're gonna evolve to be asexual so that we don't need men to reproduce. We're going to evolve.
What about Roddy Piper though?
He's already dead, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's
dead, but he's still going to Frogtown.
Yep. Now let me counter what you said.
Okay, but see if what is his name?
Please don't hit my arm.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Walker,
thank
Texas
you.
Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
What's his name?
Chuck Norris.
If Chuck Norris dies, then he's buried. Then the sheer amount of testosterone inside of Chuck Norris might level everything out.
Possibly.
Okay, now let me counter what you said. Turtles are not going to become extinct and die out.
I didn't say that.
Well, turtles will continue to be born, both male and female, and let me tell you why. Let me quote the words of one of America's greatest prophets, Saint Jeff Goldblum.
Nature finds a way.
Life, stammer, finds a way. Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. Oh man, I'm wearing a shirt. It's better if I don't have a shirt. It's better if I'm just kind of laying
you are in that position.
Yeah, I'm in that position. Yeah, I got the leg up. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really excited about the next Jurassic World movie because Jurassic World 2 seems to be following in the footsteps of the Jurassic Park series, in the sense that just like Jurassic Park, Jurassic World was a great movie, and from the looks of it, all of the other sequels will suck.
Ah.
Because from what I can see from the previews right now, Jurassic World 2 is going to be just as great as Jurassic Park 2. Hooray! Remember that one? It was all Jeff Goldblum.
I don't think I've ever seen Jurassic Park 2.
Oh yeah, I saw part 2 and I saw part 3. It's weird because it's like no one wanted to come back except for Jeff Goldblum. So it was the all Jeff Goldblum movie, and it was really weird. So anyway, I'm feeling a lot better. Thank you, Bunny.
Oh, no
now
problem.
we're at the end of the podcast, and now looking back at this episode, I gotta say, this was a powerful episode. This was a strong episode. I wrote what I thought to be a very funny monologue about the death of actress Natalie Wood.
Yes.
Which I thought was funny, despite the subject of the monologue. I thought it was very good.
Yes.
The idea of Robert Wagner and Pringles just really made me crack up. Pre-firing, it made me crack up. And now, looking back at this podcast, I gotta say, I think this was a pretty good episode.
I think this was a damn good episode.
Good. I concur.
So until next week, I am Bunny Williams.
And I am Reverend Steve. And for Maxwell and Bella and Eleanor and Natasha, we're not wrapping up for the last time. Okay. And everybody else, Maxwell, honey, at the end of the first segment, went on this bizarre ad-lib story about a demon flying saucer that landed in China to destroy all the China people. Oh, yeah. A demon UFO landed in China to destroy all the China people because that was the best way to destroy Oklahoma.
That makes no sense.
He went into crazy details.
Yes, he did.
About it. The demons in the demon flying saucer were all parents from Oklahoma that had kids. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Anyway, from all of us here at the Galindo family, I just want to say thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. And we will see you next week, you godless heathens. Bella, stop stealing my Hershey's Kisses.
Stay tasty. Put them back.
I love them.
You messed me up.
I'll give you the intro again. I just want to say thanks for listening, and we will see you next week, you godless heathens.
And you douche waffles and poopy tits.
I repurposed my end catchphrase from Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
It was like the Oscars. I think it was the Oscars, maybe the Grammys or the Golden Globes, but it was some award ceremony, and Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert were presenting an award. It was the Oscars, and Jon Stewart came up first and said to the audience, to everyone watching at home, to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, to everyone out there, I say, good evening. And then Stephen Colbert, who was still doing his Stephen Colbert character, said, good evening, you godless sodomites. And everyone just freaked out. So so I'm repurposing an old Stephen Colbert at the end of every podcast. We will see you next week, you godless heathens.
Yes.
Do 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 do. Cut and print.